Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Never Have I Ever here on Silent Podcast, where we're anything but silent. Today, we're going to be covering episode 9 for season 1. So we're almost at the end, believe it or not. And I am your host, Sasha Joseph, joined by my co-host, Chappell. It's been forever. How are you?
Sasha, it does feel like it's been forever. I'm good. I'm good. I'm just happy to be talking to you. We've gone too long without talking to each
Ugh,
other, so I'm
I
happy to be
missed
back.
you.
Yeah, I miss
We
you
were
too,
just
man.
traveling forever. I feel like out here. It's okay. We're done. We're back to being the 30 plus year olds that we are, I feel like. But before we even start, I want to say thank you to everyone that have like listened to us, that have tweeted us about everything. Chappelle, we're past 17 reviews.
Yes,
So you know what that means. You owe
I
us
gotta get it.
something.
I gotta get it. I've been
Yes.
hunting down the pictures, and I think my mom has located it. So I'm gonna have to go home and get that from her. But it's been a while since I've been home. So I think before our like grand finale of season 2, I will
Exactly.
have it for us. So that'll be fun. Especially a good way to cap it off. So thank you all for
Mhm.
the reviews. Remember, send us 5-star reviews. That's all we accept here. And so you send us more, and we might reveal more secrets, more never have I ever moments. So thank you so much,
Yeah,
and I look
exactly.
forward to sharing that with y'all.
And tell us, like, tweet us or put it in the reviews, whatever. What's like the next thing y'all want? Because we obviously need to get to the now we need, I think, 20 more because we started at 10 more. So now we need 20 more 5-star reviews. So like what's our
Mhm.
next thing? Let us know. What do y'all want to see from us? I don't know. Maybe Chappelle's
Oh,
actually, I don't know. I'm trying to embarrass you somehow.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, we'll find something. Don't
Just
worry, we'll
kidding. It
find something.
doesn't have to be just Chappelle.
Oh yeah, we
Um,
can embarrass you too.
I do nothing embarrassing. No, just kidding.
Mhm.
This whole podcast, like refutes that. And then, if y'all have any questions, if you have any feedback, we are going to be recording episode 10, which is the finale for season 1 next week. So send in questions, send in your discussion, things. I don't know, send us anything and everything to silentpodcastfeedback@gmail.com. It'll be in the description as well. And you can tweet us, you can DM us, obviously. Well, maybe not Chappelle, but you can DM me and tweet us and let us know. Let us know your thoughts that we can read it for our maybe not the grand finale, because that'll be in like, I don't know,
Few
10
weeks.
weeks.
Y'all
Yeah.
know we're gonna have to rush it.
But either way, in a while. So our mini finale, baby. And with that, are you ready for episode 9? Where I feel like
Yeah.
shit's getting real.
No, yeah, no, this is when it heats up. I mean, there's something about Never Have I Ever where it feels like you're having a good time watching it. It's a mess, and then all of a sudden it's really serious, and you just don't know where it came from. And so I think episode 9 is around the time where we make that shift. I think maybe even episode 8. When we talked
Mhm.
about the last episode with Davy kind of losing it at the party. This is the aftermath of that, so I'm definitely excited to get into it.
Yes, and me too, because it's like it went from like a comedy with a little bit of drama to like a straight up dramedy now, where I'm just
Mhm.
like stressed. I'm crying watching this stuff. I don't know if it's because I was home with my mom, like I have no idea why, but here we are, people. Like, buckle up, get your Kleenex ready. Oh, and I do have a story for everyone before we start. It's not a story, it's an anecdote. Um, I was home for the past month in Oklahoma, and my husband showed up last week. Um, I guess I lied because this man showed up with a box of C's candy, y'all.
Mhm.
It was the same exact box that Davy's mom has.
No.
Mhm, mhm. And I literally looked at him and I could not stop laughing because
Yeah.
obviously this has never happened before. I feel like my husband always gets like my mom like chocolate because my mom really likes it, but what is sees candy in that white box? Like, I was like, "Please, God, like, are
So
we really that cliche now?"
I was gonna say, so this is just an Indian staple across the board, or did you just
I
feel like
just
attacked?
I was like, how are you like, why are you reading?" Like, I was like, "Are you listening to my podcast that, like, serious that you're not
Mm,
trolling me in real life? Like, what's going on?" I don't know. Or it could be a Tamil thing because I'm not Tamil, I'm not South Indian, but Devi and her
mm,
family are, and so is my husband. So, I
yeah.
don't know if it's something they're into. Listen, I don't know. I don't know.
Remember the fountains? What if your husband just goes and buys a fountain, and then you're like, okay, you've been listening to the podcast too much.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my god. But I'll let you know. I'm gonna like have to go to my in-laws' house and check their cabinets now to see if they have more of these candy stash. Because it was like they were calling me out too much. I didn't appreciate it at all. And
Understood.
with that, I think let's get into it. So Davey's home, after that hot mess of the party that she was at. But she's living her best life. She just kissed Paxton, y'all. And she comes home and she has a flashback. It's her dad looking in the fridge. What?
Yeah.
I was
It
stressed.
Well, yeah, so it just looks like she walked in on her dad just standing there, like,
Mhm.
they don't prepare us for this flashback. So I was thinking, "Well, what's happening here?"
Yes.
Um, it turns out, of course, she's imagining it, but at first, yeah, it definitely caught me off guard to see Mohan just standing there.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, where were you?" And then turns out actually it's Uncle Arvind. And I hate him. I
Oh, yeah.
I hated him like when I first watched it, and I have never done a rewatch until this podcast. So I've hated
Mhm.
him before, but like I didn't realize the misogyny that was like oozing from all of this.
Yeah, he's the worst. Like, we talked about people like, I hate Eleanor's mom, but I hate him just as much. Um,
Mhm.
and I wonder what they're getting at. Are they just saying because he's like a man, it's the misogyny, or
Mhm.
is this supposed to be cultural? Because we see throughout the episode that Nalini makes a lot of like excuses for the
Mhm.
uncle. Like she tells Uncle Arvin like no, Davy, like, oh no, be respectful. And I was wondering at some point, like, when do you tell like him to chill out? And so I started to wonder, maybe it is cultural and you let people get away with that. But
Mhm.
even I think across the board, honestly, like men just get away with doing stuff like this, no matter what the culture is, a lot of times. And so I couldn't tell if this was just something specific to, Davy being Indian, or if they were just, this is just like, this could have been any man of any culture and it still would have been the same story.
Yeah, I think I believe that it's very much Indian where like it's respect your elders, you young people are too woke, right? Except obviously our parents aren't using those words, but it's still
Mhm.
very much the like you respect them and their opinions. And sometimes women should do X, Y, and Z, whatever that may be, like insert whatever misogyny. Because and I will say sometimes I don't wanna make a general statement, but in a lot of moments, I personally have witnessed, women keeping up the patriarchy, which is where we saw Nalini do this a lot, where she, was almost letting him get away with things instead of kinda checking him and be like, "Well, have you been married before that you have all these stupid ass opinions about marriage?"
Yeah, and he said he can't be tied down. So he can have these opinions and also not be held to that same standard because he is a man.
Yep.
So the patriarchy, it has a hold on a lot of us, men and women included, and so
Mhm.
we see a lot of that in the way Melanie plans like interacts with. I guess this is her uncle, or is this Davy's uncle?
I think it's Davy's uncle, I think, because she calls him by name, so,
Yeah. So
I
this
think
is
Periappa
Mohan's.
means cousin,
So
or
so
sorry,
this could this
uncle.
so this would be Mohan's brother?
I think it's, Nalini's brother.
Nolani's brother. Yeah. So you see in the way she interacts with her brother that like, even
Yeah,
she is
Periappa just means uncle, yeah.
yeah. So you can see even she is kind of accustomed to some of those more problematic traits that come from,
Mhm.
some masculine ideals. But we also see that in the things that she suggests for Kamala throughout the episode. And so I guess we'll
Mhm.
get to that later. But I think something that was very important in this moment was just that Davy has this vision of Mohan, and she remembered yelling at. It seemed like she was yelling at Mohan how she hates him, and it's clearly something that she just hasn't let go. And I think throughout the episode, we get the evolution of that story, and we find out that it's a little bit more than what meets the eye.
Yeah, exactly. And oh my god, it gets weird, y'all. With we see a lot of fighting come up a little later, and it seems like there's just going to be a lot of baggage being dropped on us. So get it, hold your breath, I guess.
Yeah.
And we do get a little bit of comic relief for Arvind talks about, uh Prashant, what if Prashant, because he is Arvind is here, sorry, because he's going to be the main chaperone for Kamala and Prashant. And he says, well, what if, Prashant shows up and you're all chopped into little pieces, such a bad impression of our family. Not like, oh, I'm so sorry, you'll be dead, but like, it'll look so bad on our family.
Yeah. How will Kamala get married if she's chopped up? Who's going to want to marry her if she has a bad security system?
Yeah,
Um,
because that's what
which
this man does.
So, do you know the concept of this male chaperone thing for Prashant's visit? Because I'm not familiar with this concept at all.
Yeah.
It seems like because Prashant is coming just to sit and talk to Kamala and meet her for the first time, that they needed um Uncle Arvind, to come and be there for it and just I guess, give his seal of approval for Prashant. I'm not quite sure
Yeah.
what the male chaperone role is here.
So here's what I know, and this is just obviously a system, but when I got married in India, and it was a Tamil wedding, so my mother's brother had to like approve of it. Like it's all
Mhm.
ceremonial, obviously. So I'm assuming this is some version of that, and there's no man in the house, so I think that the closest man does need to show up in the house and just kind of be, you know, the like just be. I don't know that he needs to like, it's not like a Duggar chaperone, but
Mhm.
it's like it's a chaperone where as in like you're in the same area, because now at least when you're doing an arranged marriage, like they do say, oh, go be by yourself first, like, and get to know each other while everyone else is in the living room or something. So that's very much a thing. But again, I
Mhm.
don't know. Like my parents didn't have an arranged marriage, my grandparents didn't. So I could not tell you. And my in-laws met the day of their wedding. So actually after they got married, like they could only see each other from the side while the rituals were happening.
Oh,
And then
wow.
yeah. And then after they got married, they finally like looked at each other.
Okay.
Stitches,
Sounds good.
listen, and they're still married all these years later, so
There you go.
got
Doing
something
something right. Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, so I think that it's just like a male like head needs
Mhm.
to be in the house. What a guy to be the male head, but it's
Okay.
okay, it's fine. Anyway, so turns out, and then Nalini even asks, right? Like, why did you need to use a key to get, or yeah, why did you use a key to get in? Or, why didn't someone let you in? And therein the lies have started. Because Kamala apparently was snoring beautifully. And Devi just got home looking
Yep.
like she ran a marathon.
Yeah, she says, "I just went jogging," and they're like, "In Los Angeles, the city of Charles Manson and Harvey Weinstein? Like, you just don't go jogging in Los Angeles as a 14, 15-year-old girl." And honestly, they're not wrong. You just don't
Yeah.
just go running in the middle of the night. Um, and I love that they point out that Melanie once reported the woman who watered her plants during the drought. So she very
Yes.
much is just not down with like people breaking the rules. Like this kind of shows you the kind of time Melanie is on. So she's definitely not okay with Davy going jogging or specifically lying, but also going to parties late at night. So I understand why Davy lied here because her mom is not having it.
Yeah, and I will say again, I'm very surprised my mom's a detective. She would be like, "But those aren't your clothes. I know that.
Hmm.
Where'd you get the
Yeah.
clothes from?
Hmm. My
And,
mom's the
and
same
the
way.
the sizing doesn't match up. What do you mean?"
They're so observant when they want to be, but you can't get them to understand
Yes.
anything you're telling them. Like, I brought you this thing, I explained this to you. They can't figure that out. But you come in wearing the wrong size clothes. or something's out of place. Oh, the moms already know. They automatically know.
Yeah. Do you ever have to lie about things that you buy? Because that's me. Or I have to be like, this is old. What do you mean?
Oh, what? Have you seen my shoe addiction?
Yeah.
Like, my mom will see me with some shoes on and like, when did you get those? I'm like, I've always, what are you talking about? I've always had this. She's like, you have been spending your money on shoes. Like, what are you talking about? I just bought like one pair. Like, I'm grown as hell. And my mom will still see me in the streets and be like, where'd you get those shoes? Are you still spending all your money on shoes? I just want to be happy, mom. Can I be happy?
Yeah.
Shoes make me happy. Can I just live, please? So yeah, all the time I have to lie.
Yeah. My mom is not above embarrassing me on the streets, like
No,
at all. Absolute
absolutely not.
zero. Zero.
My mom's favorite thing is to say, "You got so many shoes and I haven't gotten anything." I'm like, well, you should go buy it. She's like, well, why don't you buy me something? I'm like, I can't afford my own shoes if I'm buying you shoes, lady. So you have to move on. But no, she's good to call me out, and she will embarrass me in front of whoever. They will think that she's somewhere living in squalor, and then like I'm like just like living on top of all my
Mhm.
mountain of shoes, and like I don't get her anything or do anything nice for her. Which is totally not the case, but let her tell it, she's a victim here.
Yeah. My mom would be like, "You never help me buy cute dresses. Why can't you help me?" Like, "Oh, you're the only one that wants to look good." And it's like, "Okay, bro." Like, what? So it's just yeah, the attacking is wild. I don't appreciate it. Okay,
We're
mom?
victims.
God.
We are
Yeah.
victims.
Period. And my mom did drag us both for our cell phone story because she was like,
Wow.
"Why you don't call home? What's the problem? I see nothing wrong." And she was like, "Look, I'm not the only parent that loves their child. Look at this." Yes.
Wow.
So I was like,
Uh,
"Mom, please stop it."
threw us right under the
Yeah,
bus.
she was like, "What do you mean?" Even and then while I was watching this, I was asking my mom questions. I was like, "Would you do this? Would you do that?" And she's like, "Yeah." What can you
What's the
do when you're
problem?
a single mom? You just have
Uh,
to do what you gotta do. And I was like, "Oh my God."
we were both raised by single moms. It's just what we have to deal with. I don't know what to tell you.
Even now. And then my mom goes, "You know what? I'm out of that mindset, so I can't answer the question." And I was like, "You're a
hmm
liar." I was like,
Oh yeah.
"You're lying."
Oh, I call my mom out all the time, and she's like, "I didn't do that. I would never." Or like,
Yeah.
she'll like see something in a movie or television. She's like, "Can you believe this lady did that?" I'm like, "Where have you been? You do that. You do all of that crap. Like that's why I don't come home."
Now my mom texting me right now.
Yes. What does she want? She's like, "I know you and Chappelle are talking about me
Oh
on the
my God.
podcast."
No, she just said good night. No text question mark.
No, not no text. You're like, look at you not using that cell phone. What were we just
I
talking
pay
about?
my own bills, mom. God.
I'm grown, I promise.
Oh my God. No, I know exactly what you mean because this was the episode. So my mom and I started talking about partying.
Mhm.
And I still remember, I mean, I was honest. I said, "Yo, there's a guy I like at this party, so I want to go." And my mom was like, "Cool, okay. Um, I have to sit outside the club the whole time."
Excuse me?
Mhm. And I was like, "Okay, that's fine, like, as long as you're outside, like, fine,"
Yeah.
because I didn't have anything to hide, like, I truly just wanted to go to like, hang out with this guy. Uh, my cousin that I went with decided to leave the party with the boy and go to his car,
Mhm.
and my mom lost her mind, so she comes and sits inside the party.
Yeah. To come get you.
No, not come get me, you can have fun, it's just I'm here too.
Yeah. Just so you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. Oh,
Did
it
you
was
did
the
you
worst
tell
thing.
did you tell anybody that was your mom, or were you just acting like you didn't know who she was?
There's the only parent there. Before we even
Who's
left,
that lady?
she asked to check the place out before she was leaving, and then all of a sudden, they were just sitting there, and I was like, "Bro, please just leave." To this day, my stepdad will, like, drag her, and he's like, "That's so embarrassing that you did that to the both of us." So my mom was like,
Yes.
"She was 15. What do you expect?" And I was like, "Stop it. Stop it."
My embarrassing story is that one time I was in a club with a woman and I was having a good time, and I looked over her shoulder and my mom and dad were both there like together, and she was sitting in my lap, so we were just talking. And I looked over her shoulder. I saw my mom and dad, and like we made eye contact. Like it was the two of them and me across the like. So this was like a few years ago because I was in the
Oh, it's
club.
not like yeah,
Yeah, no,
okay.
no, no. So I'm grown and they are grown at the same place that I'm at. and I like see them, and I know that I'm in trouble. Like even as a grown man, I'm like, my
Yes.
family sees like this woman sitting in my lap, and I'm staring at them. They're staring at me, and no one says anything. I just kind of like ignore and hope that they don't come over. It was so embarrassing. Like we still to
Oh
this day have never talked
god.
about that moment because I was just like, oh, here we go. Like I just
Yes.
knew one of them, maybe like my dad, he's pretty cool. So I'm pretty sure he like was like trying to put a stop to it, like, hey, Hank, like cut it out. But my mom, I know she wanted to just come over and be like, hi, how are you? What are you doing
Mhm.
over here? So I was like, stay away, lady. I'm working here.
Not that.
I was just trying to have a good time. Dad, can I
Oh my
live?
god. Yeah, thank God I like don't will never tell my mom where I'm going. I'll be like, "Oh, it's this area." Cuz God
Mm,
forbid this lady shows up to be like, "You don't spend enough time with me." Imagine. Absolutely not. No, no,
mm-mm.
no.
No
Yeah.
bueno.
Oh my god. But with that, it's the night is done. Davey's going to bed. And then she gets this like flashback, right? Of saying, I hate you to her dad. But
Mhm.
she's like, conceal, don't feel. We're very Elsa over here. And she says, and John McEnroe, sorry, says she kissed freaking Paxton Hall Yoshida, bro. Like, that's what we need to think about. And then we get these like cute cut scenes of Paxton and her in the car living your best life.
Yeah, and it's so funny because she can't even sleep because this memory that she's having with
Yes.
Mohan keeps popping up, but then also she's trying to drown it out with this memory that she has of kissing Paxton. So it's kind of like she kissed Paxton, but remember that time she was really upset with Mohan, and then she's like, "Well, but I kissed Paxton." And it's like, "Remember what you said to your therapist and what your therapist said to you and what your friend said?" She's like, "Yeah, but I kissed Paxton." So she's dealing with all that. She's losing sleep over this,
Ugh.
and she doesn't get any sleep before her mom just shows up and like, hey, get up. Prashant's here. Prashant's coming. So you got to get dressed. I think she told her to go put on that pretty dress she got from Costco from buying an annual supply of toilet paper. I don't shop at Costco. I'm a Sam's Club person myself. Do they give away free clothes with buying toilet paper? Like Melanie is
No.
doing a lot here.
They do have cute dresses. Like I've bought
Oh,
like Adidas like sweats from
oh
Costco.
yeah.
So it's would recommend. Like they have cute stuff all the time. So I get it, but like I asked my mom like, do you buy your your supply? And she was like, "Who do you think we are? What's wrong with you?"
Look, my mom, I wouldn't put that past her normally, but honestly, when the pandemic happened, oh no, that lady had everything. Like when she
Yes.
saw that everybody was buying up toilet paper, she went and she stocked up. She was like ordering it to where it would just come like on like a subscription.
Oh
Same
my
same thing with
god.
hand sanitizer.
Oh,
Like
that
she has
too.
to she never has to worry about that again. And she wasn't like stockpiling it like the crazy people. She just had it like on a rotation. Like, oh no, no, no. In a month, Amazon will send us another one. Like, look
Genius.
at you, your power. So I showed up at her house to shop. I put some things in my bags and then leave. Um,
Yes. Oh my god. I literally had to bring thank God I flew Southwest because I had to have an extra bag just
mhm.
full of stuff from home. Like whatever.
Yeah,
She gave me like spoons like that I need to cook with. Just
yeah.
what is
Look,
my life?
that's
But
what they're good for. Um,
yeah.
and that Costco dress that Davy's mom was talking about that she got with
Mhm.
the annual supply of toilet paper, that's the dress she fell in the pool in last night at Paxton's party. I'm sorry, Ben's party with Paxton.
Yeah.
She fell in the
Mhm.
pool wearing that same dress. So it's so funny that that's the one Melanie's asking about because yeah, Davy really likes it. It's just soaking wet and she hasn't seen it since she fell in the pool.
Yes. And I just couldn't stop laughing because, again, that is such a mom thing where they're like, this is the outfit I envisioned you in. So if you don't show up in this exact outfit, you're ugly. Or, I mean, they
Right.
don't actually say that, but it's like
That's what they mean.
that.
That's what they
Yeah.
mean.
I mean, my mom definitely has like used to drag. So as soon as she heard this part, she was in the background being like, oh, I remember Sasha when she didn't want to wear sleeveless, when she didn't want to wear skirts. She only wanted to shop in the boys section. And I was like, I was like 12. Like I was
And I
going
wanted
through puberty, dude.
and I liked what I was wearing. Like they
Yeah,
don't understand the concept that like maybe just because you like something, that doesn't mean like the rest of the world does. My mom has no
absolutely
sense of
not.
style at all. Like she would just buy my clothes because again, she was a single parent and we were poor. So she would buy clothes and I was like, I'm not wearing this to school.
Yeah.
Like I first of all, she loves to match. So like back in like the 2000s, like she would be like, "I got you this blue shirt with this blue hat with these blue shoes and these blue." I'm like, who's dressing like that? Black single moms are dressing like that, right? Like denim from head to toe. She looked like a Tony
Yes.
Braxton backup dancer, and she wanted me to dress the same. I wasn't having it.
Yeah, my mom is very much like the sale queen at Macy's. So like she'll be like, you have to wear like expensive clothes. You just don't pay expensive prices ever for
Gotcha.
anything. So even now she'll like call me on like Dillard's, the New Year's sale, and she'll be like, Ray-Bans for $15. And I was like, obviously I need you to buy them.
Yeah, go
So
ahead and get that. Get that
exactly, it's
for
like,
me.
please, yes, obviously, yes. So, so I just couldn't stop laughing because again, this is very much my story. I remember in India, I was like, bro, we're in India. I don't want to wear sleeveless. Meanwhile, my mom is in like short, mini skirts and like sleeveless dresses, like looking cute, and then I'm over here just looking a mess. So, just with my glasses with the string. So it was
Mhm.
great. What a time to be alive. And then I showed up to college, and then my mom was like, maybe you should put on some clothes. Well, too late.
Too late. Sorry.
Mm, exactly.
Dressing down now.
Yep. And then her mom is like, where is the dress? But it's okay. I can't wear that dress, mom, Davy says, because she says I can't look better than Kamala.
Yeah. I don't wanna overshadow Kamala on her big day. And so her mom was just like, "Look, I can already tell you're on that
Yes.
Davy stuff, clearly, if you think that's gonna work. So just keep your Davy nonsense to a minimum." And I think that's kind of triggering to Davy because she knows that
Yeah.
she is shenanigans. Davy is all the mess. And yeah, like it's to the point where she's so unhinged that when her phone rings, she thinks this is either Paxton calling to tell her how much he loves her, or I mean, he loves her, or Fabiola calling to apologize about the night before. Sasha, I have to ask, do you think Fabiola even like does she owe Davy an apology about the
Absolutely
altercation that they
not.
had?
I just
Yeah.
think it's a long time coming, right? I think it's been so long that they have just been taking Davies like BS, right? Over and over and over. With Eleanor. And I think Fabiola isn't just mad for Fabiola. I think Fabiola is like mad for the unit of,
Mhm.
Eleanor and her. So I think it's time that Davy understands it. Do I think that maybe screaming at your friend at a party isn't the best way? But I don't know that Davy understands or receives it in any other way if they
Right.
say it normally. Like, I don't think Davy hears that.
Well, this is sitting with her because she can't seem to shake the memory. But it's just so weird to me that the phone rings. She's like, "Oh, thank God, Fab has finally come to her senses." No, Davy, no one
Yeah.
owes you an apology in this moment. And it looked like before she could even get to the phone, Melanie just takes it from her. That this was triggering for me because she took the phone so she could pay attention during Kamala's visit with Prashant. What does she need to pay attention for? I don't really understand what Melanie's doing. If she's just micromanaging or what.
No, yeah, I mean, I will say I was personally struggling a lot with Nalini this episode where I want to say she is a single mom, she's struggling, it's hard for her. And also like where is the compassion for your child? Like
Hmm.
even an ounce, some kind of like just a little bit of, oh, we have both been to trauma, not just
Hmm.
me, so and I know that maybe I sound selfish in expecting that, like, Nalini's also a human being, but, yeah, this was one of those moments where I was like, "Just, like, let her breathe for a second." It's like, um, I don't know about you, Chappelle, but at my school, the parents that were the strictest, those kids were the worst. I will say,
Yeah.
like, they were the one doing like, the preacher's kid in Oklahoma, obviously, were
All preachers'
awful.
kids are the
Ex
worst. I said it.
Yeah.
At me, preachers' kids.
And I still remember my high school boyfriend cheated on me with this girl, like, who wasn't allowed to go out at all. Her dad was a pastor, and I was like, "Yeah, here we go." And it's his fault, obviously. But still,
Hmm.
it's just the point is, like, you can't, like, hold on to your child so much that they're just, like, 'cause it's like the Coke bottle, right? You keep shaking it, it's gonna burst eventually. So,
Yeah.
I feel bad because I think if she even took a second to, like, get to know her child, which I know Indian parents are not into that, but they need to be because my God, your kids are out here doing the dirt, people. Like just
Yeah.
PSA.
This is like just a mark of how much Nellany's out like actually struggling. Because to this point,
Yeah.
we don't really hear her point of view of what it looks like for her to be a single mom with a kid who is as energetic as Davy, who
Mhm.
has struggled as much as Davy's doing with the loss of her dad. So we see a lot of this through Davy's eyes. This is still through Davy's eyes, so we feel a lot of compassion for Davy.
Yes.
But this also just shows you how much life is kind of unraveling around Melanie. Like she's losing control so much that she decided that with this Kamala situation, she's just gonna control all parts of it. Like I can't give Davy an inch because just I haven't been able to keep her, under control. And that's why later on we'll see in this episode that she starts to considering moving back to India because
Mhm.
she's just gotten to the point where it's too much. Like she has to physically take Davy's phone and lock her down to say you have to sit still because I just don't trust that we can handle this situation. And the magnitude of this, this is a decision that should affect Kamala the rest of her life. And I can't trust Davy with that little bit of leeway. And just that lack of compassion is just a reflection of how much she's struggling. And yeah, this episode is through Davy's eyes. So we definitely get the feeling that, okay, Nellany, you got to lighten up a little bit. But yeah, this is the story of her kind of losing track of everything in her life and it just kind of manifesting itself in this
Mhm.
situation.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I want to give all my compassion to single moms. Like I know that I truly tested my mom
Same.
when she was going through a divorce, and it was awful. Like I was truly a nightmare. But it's also like I can't help but feel bad for Davy because like I think I again identify a lot with Davy where you would like push people away, but actually you just want them to like come close, but you're like a
Hmm.
sicko that's like, "No, I'm gonna be mean to you." And then, you're gonna like keep coming back, which is like awful. And I had to like have that conversation with my mom and like people that I love to be like, it's a sick thing. I'm a cancer. We just got so many emotions that unfortunately we try to lock them all down.
Hmm.
But it's hard because she's not there yet. And I know that in high school I was like mean to people I actually really liked, but I was like, I'm
Hmm.
gonna hurt you before you hurt me. Ha.
Exactly. It's just a defense mechanism, and Melanie's going through so much that she can't
Mm-hmm.
she can't move herself outside of
No.
that to see what Davy's going through, and it's really hard to watch in this episode. That's why we said this is when it gets real, you all. So like this is it. This is the
Yeah.
moment.
Exactly.
So and I think that's when we find out that it's not even Mohan who Davy said I hate you
No.
to. It's Nellany. This whole time they've been making it look like she had this big argument with Mohan, but it turns out
Mm-hmm.
it's Nellany. They had an argument about the sheet music the night of the big performance when Mohan died. And so all of this that is coming out right now all centers around the biggest moment of her entire life, which was the death of her dad in directly in front of her
Yep.
at her concert.
Yeah, and those were like the hardest, I will say, things to watch because it's to me it's like losing sheet music. Is it the biggest deal? Can't you just print out new sheet music? I'm assuming they got emailed it to her.
I mean, back in my day, it was like if you lost your music, you just
Right.
lost your music. But I mean, this is like the late 2020s, the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm sure they could have got more. I think this is just another mark of like, when your parents are fed up, everything you do
Oh,
just is the
yeah.
worst thing in the
Mhm.
world. And between Melanie just trying to get Davy to not be Davy a lot of times, and Davy constantly being Davy, I think it was just one of those things where that straw that broke the camel's back, she just
Yeah.
wasn't trying to hear it, and Davy also wasn't trying to hear it. So the initial argument was, "You lost your sheet music. I'm grounding you for 2 weeks," and Davy is like, "I hate you." Like,
Yeah.
you're getting grounded for 2 weeks, and your response is, "I hate you." Like, both of y'all are overreacting at this point.
Exactly. To me, I was like, again, I had to ask my mom this. She was around, and I was like, "Would you have grounded me?" Like, is because I got grounded a lot, but it was very much for like being annoying or like being on my phone, but
Mhm.
never for like I never felt that it was for losing stuff. So, but yeah, my mom said, yeah, actually, I would have because that's so annoying. And my mom was like, you would have never done it again if I would have grounded you. And I was like, I think I would have, but sure.
Yeah, I mean, and I kind of try to sympathize with this because I was a music student as
Mm-hmm.
well, so I I am a very forgetful person. Like I am scattered.
Yeah.
So I am the type of person to lose my sheet music, but my mom just never was that invested in my music career. So it's like, Mom, I lost my sheet music. Well, what you gonna do? I don't know, man. My issue would be, I guess, if someone else told her I lost the sheet music. Like if the
Oh my
band director
god.
called or something, was like, "Hey, you know he lost his music. Oh, that's a wrap. That's
Oh
it.
yeah,
End
then
of the
I'm getting
world."
grounded. Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, like what? Don't have a teacher calling the house. Don't have her like
yeah.
anybody who's embarrassed her. If it came from me, oh yeah. So I just like this definitely could have been something she could have fixed at the school. She could have got there, told the band director, "I need more harp music." They printed some more off, gave it to her, whatever. But it's the phone call home that would have gotten me in
Yeah.
trouble. Like, why is this man calling me at work talking about you can't keep up with your music? Like, sorry, So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I could
will
have seen
say,
this happening.
yeah, I think this is very much maybe an Asian thing. I know it's definitely an Indian parent where like they and especially for an only child, speaking as one, sometimes like your life and your like things become theirs. Where I ran track, so I remember that like my mom would sit alone in the stands, like cheering for me. Especially in India where I was actually good, not so much here, but still I remember when like my, extracurriculars unfortunately became her life. So I'm assuming this is one of those moments. Like I've definitely seen that happen with Indian families a lot or Indian moms. And dads now, I think, we're in the newer century, but where they just kind of get consumed by their children's hobbies and their children's thing, where it's like, well, you need to be the best. And, you need to like,
Mhm.
and I'm stereotyping, obviously, but still,
Yeah.
it's like, you need to be the best. Or like, if you're gonna do something, you need to be good at it. You can't be, like slacking off. Like that's never an option. So that's why I can see that. But again, Davey's such a smart kid that I don't think if it were my mom, I don't know that my mom would be like, she's a straight A student, like, oh, whatever. This one thing
Yeah.
she lets go, cool. But
Yeah.
whatever, it's
But they
fine.
both don't accept less than perfection. Like even
Yes, that's
Davy,
the
like
problem.
had that been affecting Davy's grade, Davy would be acting the exact same way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so she's very much cut from the same cloth as Melanie. Like that, she's her mother's child. And they just were meeting at a place where they weren't either one of them they were being irrational. So like I hate you
Mhm.
because you're getting like grounded for 2 weeks. That's a lot. And
Yeah.
so yeah, so we can see why this is triggering even for Davy, but even from Melanie's point of view, like she didn't, she looks back at that day as the day she lost her husband. She's not thinking about the
Yes.
argument she had with Davy.
Exactly. And, Mohan does say, like, calm down. But, and then again, I think this is a moment between husband and wife. I don't think this was for Davy to hear. But, she says, I cannot calm down. When this child insists on being such a headache to me. And it's just, it's so hard. I feel
Yeah,
because I understand that sometimes you're having a chat with your partner and you don't really want other people to hear it, but here we are.
that's how it goes. That's how
Oh
it goes.
god. Yeah, so and unfortunately she does mind her sheet music if anyone was wondering. And then, and then Davy does wish that she could sleep that memory off, but because today she's like I need to be normal. Like I need to be normal. And then they're just it's fine. We'll figure it out. And then her mom says, no matter what, you're gonna look good, which I thought was like the first sweet thing we've heard Melody say.
Mhm.
It's okay, I'll let it go. And then she says, I have to go rub coconut oil.
So yeah,
Oh
she
god.
has to rub coconut oil in Kamala's hair so that Kamala smells like Prashant's mother. You know, this is so funny to me because Nalini's all in. She's like, Kamala's not my daughter, but it is my responsibility to make sure that she gets wifed up. And what do you have to do? You have to remind this man of his mother, or he is not going to marry you. And so I need you to smell like her now.
Yeah, that's a mess. Again, everyone needs to calm the hell down. I will say rubbing coconut oil, yes, very much not a stereotype, very much the truth. When I was home this past week, did that happen every week because my hair allegedly was thin? Yes. My hair's not thin, everyone, but like, my God. So, this is very much the like Indian mom, I love you, but like maybe I
Mm.
won't say it all the time.
That's fair. She's like, look, I told you I rub coconut oil in your hair, so duh, like I'm
Yeah,
invested in you. Um,
exactly.
We have a lot of Kamala to talk about.
Yes,
So
God.
this
Okay.
phone call with Steve, like Sasha, what did you think about this? Because Steve is basically just like, look, I understand that you have to get married, but I think you're being sold into slavery. Like he is just not hearing that this is cultural and that this is a decision she's making. He thinks she's being like held hostage by this decision.
And Steve's Asian too. That's what I don't understand. Like, he's not Indian, obviously, but my God, dude, you're telling me that other Asian cultures don't have arranged marriages? There's no way in hell I believe
Yeah.
that. So it's a joke. It's literally shut up, guy. And then he says sometimes these guys come down the aisle on a horse. Everyone know that's a wedding. Like, I think even people that don't know anything about like Indian anything, they'll be like, "Oh, but I know that at your wedding, you know, the amount of people that ask me, "Oh, did your husband come on a horse?" And I was like, "I'm Jewish, so no." But
Yeah.
like Hindus, yeah, that's very much a thing. So Steve is just like showing his whole ass right now.
He's desperate. I told you. Kamala, that is a beautiful person. Okay. So if I'm about to lose Kamala, I'm about to start being desperate too. Just throwing whatever I can at the wall. Like, Kamala, what are you doing? Don't leave me. So Steve, I hear you. I wish you do need to calm down, but I get it. I
Yeah.
understand. You're not going out
And
without a fight.
exactly. And then, it seems like they're also talking about, well, I'm parked around the block. First of all, why are they talking about permit parking? And then he said, "You're worth the $40 ticket." Steve is
See, like,
down bad.
look, who could blame him? Kamala's a baddie. I'm telling you, it's
Oh,
worth
yeah.
it.
And then, Davey talks about, Kamala gave me on the phone. How's that fair? I think there's an age difference, Davey, but,
Right.
whatever.
Kamala's a
And then I
grown ass
love that.
woman.
And then Nalini's like, she doesn't need any more pressure. This lunch is going to determine whether she has a happy life. Chill
I'm telling
out.
you, Melanie thinks that this is the day that is going to define her existence forever, and so she's doing it all. Um, Even Uncle Arvin is just like, what did he say? To be a good wife, she'll need to understand that sometimes Prashant is just gonna want to come home from work and watch cricket and not be bothered, Kamala. So be ready to, be submissive and wait on him whenever he wants you to.
Where
That's what
y'all
being a good
gonna
wife is.
have cricket? Like after work? Like the time zones don't match up, Uncle Arvin. Okay. To watch cricket, you have to get up at 4 a.m. So you're wrong. Stupid. And then yeah, and then I love that she was like, "Well, I'm gonna work too. Only until you have kids."
Right. Then shut it down and no more working. Be a mother. Grow up.
Oh my, I just and our queen Davy. This is why she is the queen, because she says,
Mhm.
"Uncle Arvin, can you remind me if you were married?"
Yeah, Davy is. She put him right on blast. That's what we all been thinking. Like, well, sir, if you were the expert,
Yes.
if you look, you teach us since you know every damn thing. But it turns out, no, he's look. Although women have lined up for him, he's not allowed one to, to break into his heart. That's why, because he's a security expert. He's a security expert, Sasha. So he's keeping his heart protected from these horrible women. So don't put Uncle Arvind on blast. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, these uncles, I'm telling you, got to go. Like, it's like I don't know which is worse, Indian aunties or Indian uncles, because I think Indian aunties, it's acceptable to like drag them back a little. Like, you can be a
Mm,
little shady back, even though you're still gonna get told, "Oh, they're your elders." But
yeah.
the uncles just get away with it, and then they get to be like the head of the household. How you gonna be bald and be the head of household? No, I'm just kidding, but like, oh my god, I hate him. Like, I couldn't believe. I've definitely like I know my uncle one time in his whole life asked me to get him a beer, and I definitely was young, and I threw the beer on the ground, and I said, "Don't ever ask me that again." And like we still have a beautiful relationship, but like I definitely got in trouble that night. I will say that,
Yeah.
but I did it.
You have to stand your ground.
Yeah, just that one time. Oh my god. But still, it's just, I like I said, I know we just said this before, but we have to break these systems of like women, being submissive and having to like provide, not provide, but like provide the home, right? And
Mhm.
really like create all of these moments uh and the men just kind of being passive in the house. Like no,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah, and I think it's good to point out that if that's what you want, then go for it,
Yeah, of
right? If you wanna be
course.
submissive, whatever, live your life, but, like, just to, like for a man to, like, expect that from every woman they come in
Yes.
contact with, like, "Well, I'm a man and you're a woman, so you should be submitting." That's not how life should work, because everybody should be allowed to do what they would like to do. So if that's not your cultural preference or your preference, that's fine, and you shouldn't be forcing your preferences onto other people. Find someone who wants
Period.
what you want, you know? So
Exactly.
we
And
still got work to
speaking
do.
of, find someone that you want. Prashant is here, baby. And
Yes.
Nalini's like, you stay on this side, you stay on that side. I love how she drags again, Devi. Please favor your left side. Devi's beautiful. She can say however she wants. People,
Mm-mm.
stop
She
it.
said Kamala got both good sides. So Davey, you need to go ahead and lean to your left. I too have a good side. I only have one dimple, so I kind of like to smile on that
Well,
side when I'm
right.
yeah.
Your good side is your height. Let's be honest.
That is true, man. I'm 6'2", 6'3" with the right pair of J's on.
Exactly. You just need to stand is the
Yeah.
point. Don't take sitting pictures. That's your issue.
Exactly. I do. Oh, Prashant coming in is so funny because everyone just thirsts over him immediately. Like
Yes.
Davey legit says, "Whoa, damn, you're hot." Davey, could you calm down?
Again, things that I don't think I would ever be allowed to say. Like, damn, you're hot to someone.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
But
She
he
just stepped
is.
out of line. I mean, yeah, he's a good looking guy. So Kamala. I mean, the way I'm thirsting over Kamala, she's looking at Prashant the way I look at her. So she's into it too.
I mean, I just want to say, like, if Indian men looked like that, woo, it'd be over for y'all. There's a reason he's an actor. Because my God, what a guy. Top notch. And then he comes in, and I love that Davy's like, we were expecting an Uggo. Not wrong,
It's like, yeah,
unfortunately.
sadly.
But anyway, he comes in, he's like, wow, what a great clock, la la la. And then gets a Swarovski crystal beaver.
Look, every Indian person, and I'm kind of spoiling season 2, but every Indian person that walks into the house, into Nalini's home, knows exactly what to say to just get her going. Like they know exactly what to do to please her. The only person in this whole entire show who does not know how to make Nalini happy is Davy. Because we see that when these other Indian people show up, they are like right up her alley. They're complimenting the grandfather clock that we know she just bought just for these compliments. They're showing up with the right crystals, family heirlooms, bringing chocolate. Like they're doing everything. And those are like, yes, this is the type of Indian household I was supposed to have. Give me what I deserve. So I was happy to see that when he showed up with the crystal beaver, because Beaver is the engineer of the animal kingdom or something like
Nature's
that.
engineer.
Yeah, nature's engineer. That was perfect. That was just what Kamala wanted to hear too. So this was Prashant, in his bag.
Yeah, Kamala says, Steve who? What?
Yeah. Wait,
What?
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 Yeah,
An
I don't see
arranged
it.
marriage? That my family likes him too?
Right, I was down. It was time. Let's get married.
I'm already married, but still, if I would be down for an arranged marriage, if I'm
I
being
mean,
honest.
yeah, I mean, look at the way this one is working out, right? Like Prashant's very smart, he's very handsome, and apparently he has good taste in crystals. So I mean, so was Swarovski's like to meet you. This might not be such a bad gig. I'm not saying that it's necessarily going to be a great gig, but it's starting off on the right foot. Like this is a good first date,
My
if nothing
husband didn't
else.
bring me no Swarovski crystals on our first
Oh,
date.
stop
So
it. Stop
listen,
it.
he did get me a ring later, but it took 2 years.
Right.
God,
Come on, man. Step your game up.
come on, where's my Swarovski beef? No, I need a sooner.
Right. What is a sooner?
No, it's racist, but
Oh, of course.
unfortunate, not well,
Tell
yeah,
me.
unfortunately, I
Yeah.
guess, but it's like the people that when they were stealing land from the Native Americans, there was the
Mm.
land run, right? So the Sooners were the cheaters that went ahead of time and just marked their land.
Oh,
Yeah,
got you. Yeah.
disgusting.
My high school's mascot, I went to a predominantly black high school, and our mascot was the Rebel, and it was a rebel Confederate soldier because when the high school was created, it was a segregated school and was all white. After they
Oh my
desegregated, the
god.
white people moved out because
Of
of,
course.
the property value going down. And
Redlining,
so
yes.
redlining and all that good stuff. And so they left this black school with this big
Oh
Confederate
my
soldier as the
god.
rebel mascot. And when I graduated, like 5 or 6 years after I graduated, they changed our mascot. So currently it's like the Wolverine or something like that.
Oh, that's a good
Uh,
one.
but they changed the colors too. The colors are blue and gray, and they were red, white, and blue when I was there. So there you go. It happens.
Yeah, I feel that every time I was like, "Oh, I gotta find a better hashtag," but hashtag boomer is just stupid.
Yeah,
So
it's silly.
it's a very struggle during football season, but here
Mhm.
we are. And then anyway, so Davy goes up to Kamala's room, and she's like, "Here, let me put this away." And bam, Steve is there to rescue his girl, but he's also scared of Nalini and doesn't know how big Prashant is.
Right. Maybe they do need a security system because their uncle talked about people, but Steve legit is just sitting in there and he should not be there. Like, don't get me wrong, Kamala likes Steve, but she didn't invite him to come break into their home and just go sit on the bed. Like, her arranged marriage is there. What if her next step is to take Prashant up and show him the room?
Which
Then
very
what,
mu
Steve?
listen, if you've seen a Bollywood movie, you know that that's probably gonna happen. So what the hell,
No.
people? Oh god.
What happens if Prashant walks in there and Steve is just hanging out on the bed? Like, what
Prashant
if
seems so cool. I don't think
he
Prashant
does?
gives
But
a
I don't know how
0
you can
F.
explain that though. Like,
That's true.
how why are you here and how did you get in the house? Like, Steve, this isn't a great idea.
Yeah, pathetic. Like, Steve, you're a mess. Hang it up, son. But anyway, and then it's back. They're talking. We're back at lunch because Davy's like freaking out, and Davy's down here, but they're over here talking about how much they love America. Ice cream does have so many flavors. It again. I asked my mom to name flavors, and she did name the only flavor that they talked about.
Pistachio? Is that what does that even mean? Do you mean to
It's
tell me like in
bomb.
India, like that's just like the one to go to?
I mean, they have vanilla, chocolate, pistachio. I was like, "Mom, they have strawberry." And my mom was like, "Maybe now." So
Like, but back in the day, it was pistachio or
yeah.
bust.
Yeah, pistachio was like the fancy, I think, one, and then vanilla and chocolate were like the peasant
Mm,
ones.
gotcha.
Yeah. So it's really because I was like, "No, mom, like name them." And she's like, "Pistachio." And I was like, "Not this."
Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah. And now we're all like Rocky Road, cookies and cream. Oh, look at us. And then I also like Kamala's like, traffic goes in two separate directions.
Yeah, it's so adorable.
No
Kamala's
lies
great.
detected, obviously. Again, if you go to India, like say a prayer, like if you're in the
Oh,
street.
look, I love traveling abroad, but I refuse to drive. Like, I will legit get
Mm-mm.
in the car with somebody and just pray because
Yeah.
I can never figure out how to do it. I mean, pick a country. Every country that I've been in where the traffic is like going in one direction or like they're not like I can't understand the street signs. I just completely shut down. Mexico City shut down. When I was in Greece, shut down. You can drive me. I will never drive in another country. I freak out. I just can't do it. I don't.
Yeah.
I talk a lot of crap about the country that I live in. I love America, but man, I hold dear to our traffic laws because at least I know what I'm doing here. Anywhere else I'm
Yes.
screwed.
Yeah, I've seen a cop, like a constable, right? Like a street cop or whatever, get like dragged by a car in India. Like straight up,
Ooh,
he's holding on to the car and the car's just gone.
ouch.
Yeah, so it's a bizarre behavior, I will say. India's lawless when it comes to traffic.
Uh,
I've driven in India. I mean, but this was at like 3 a.m. after the club. We were driving back with my friends, and we definitely got pulled over, but not because of my driving, just because why is there a car driving at two
right.
a.m. But like complete lawlessness.
Can't
Would
do
not
it.
recommend. You've seen on The Amazing Race, I'm sure. Like when they go to India, hot mess. Don't know where anyone's going. I li- I got on with RHAP with Rob and Mike talking. I think for the India episode, and I literally my hot take I think got me on that show. But I said if your rickshaw driver is on one butt, y'all, that is how you know this man is in Fast and the Furious. Because he's like, I think trying to like angle aerodynamic, but if he's on one butt,
Yeah.
it's a wrap for you. Don't do it. Don't get in it. Don't get in the
And
rickshaw.
it's something about moving your body that makes you feel like you're moving the entire
Yes.
vehicle.
I'm telling you, I was like, first of all, it's only 3 wheels. Chill out, uncle. Like, my
Mm-mm.
God. And then you just like on one butt, they'll drive. I'm telling next time I go to India, I will record this and send it to
Oh,
everyone. But
yes.
oh my God,
FaceTime me, please.
I got you. I have T-Mobile. I got you. Uh,
Yes.
and then yeah, and then basically, they were like, okay, let's figure it out. And then Davy's like, Kamala, you gotta go upstairs. Check where I put this. Kamala said, no, I'm talking to this man right in front of me.
Right.
Please,
She
let's
has
forget everything.
She's not listening to Davy at all, and even Melanie realizes that something's up. She's giving
Of
Davy
course.
the look like, "What are you doing? What
Yep.
what is up with this?" We see more of the flashbacks, of course, of Mohan passing because that's just throughout the entire episode. But Kamala finally gets the hint and says, "Okay, fine, I'll go up to the room." And she is shocked to see Steve still hanging out, just chilling.
Just a mess. So embarrassing. And they say you should not be sold like a prized calf. A little racist again, just a little.
Yeah. So what is Steve saying here? Because this is him saying because you're Indian, you are like the calf is like a sacred
The sacred
animal,
animal for Hindus,
right?
yeah.
So he definitely is making like a racial remark here, seemingly knowingly, right? Like y'all on some
Mhm.
Indian shenanigans is what Steve thinks is happening here.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
Oh
Do
God.
you think Kamala sat Steve down and taught him the importance of why this is meaning stuff to her? Because what we saw on the show was Kamala basically saying, "Steve, I can't be with you anymore because I have to go." And Steve basically just being confused at this point. So I want to give him a little grace because even though he's acting like a big baby, I feel like when it's someone as beautiful and someone who seems like
Yeah.
Steve really likes, that you do have to let them know, like, no, culturally, I'm all in, and this isn't something you can come and sway me. This isn't something I'm under duress. No one's holding me hostage. I am choosing to do this because I want to, and I just don't know. And I'm not giving Steve a pass because but we don't
Mhm.
see it on the show. So I have to wonder if Kamala actually spent the time to sit him down and say why this was so important to her,
Yeah.
or if it's up to Steve to just be like, you know what, maybe I should do the research on my own because it just seems like he's just kind of struggling to figure out why this is even happening.
It's just I think he wants to hold on to her so bad, and I think the the more or the tighter he holds on to her, the more she's going to pull away,
Mm.
unfortunately. So here we are, Steve, because she broke up with him straight up, just said it's breakup time. Goodbye. You're sweet and handsome, but no.
He tried to propose.
Yeah.
He legit just like randomly was like, screw it, I'm just gonna propose. And Steve, trust me, been there. But what you do, you don't do that. You never
Wait,
do that.
propose.
Well, you don't actually propose, but in your head, you're like, well, maybe
Chappelle.
I didn't do it, but I'm just saying, like, mentally, you think like, what kind of like what Hail Mary can I throw right here? And I think Steve was like, maybe if I just propose, because like obviously she wants to get married because she's signing up for this arranged marriage. So maybe you like me, you actually dated me, maybe you marry me. It just does not work. This is what gets him broken up with. He stalked her into breaking up with him.
Oh my God. That's no men or people, but like here, men don't
Yeah.
do this.
Nah.
It's very gaslighty and very like stalkery.
It's stupid. It's stupid tacky too.
Yeah,
Like
also that.
it's
Yes.
something about like those traditional views of courting where it's like, no, no, no. The stories people would show on TV are like, oh, well, when I first met your dad, I didn't really like him, but he was so persistent and I finally gave him a chance. And now we've been married for 30 years. Like that is like that old, like leave it to beaver ass relationship stuff that they were pushing on us back when we were like little. That stuff don't fly. If someone tells you to leave
Yeah.
them alone.
He's mean to you because he likes you.
No, no,
No, he's mean to me,
no,
and like aggression is not
and I don't like
love.
it. Right, and I don't like it. So yeah, that stuff is old hat. I just think like because it was pushed so much on like into like the
Yes.
mainstream that people think that it's actually what you should do. And some people, again, if you like that kind of thing, that is for you. But if you don't, if someone tells you to leave them alone, leave them alone.
No
Because this
means
is how you look
no.
like Steve. Exactly.
Yes.
This is how you end up looking like Steve, like a dummy.
Yeah. got he's got him sneaking in the room looking stupid.
with his damn clown nose on, his clown
Oh,
makeup on.
beep beep, bitch. Yeah. And and downstairs, we're seeing like Arvin, he just constantly keeps cutting Melanie off, which I'm like, shut up, stupid. Um, and then Chappelle, because they're talking about
Mhm.
cousin Manju and how amazing this family is. Uh, Davy says cousin Manju is a 28-year-old virgin, so I'm good. Would you be alive when you finish the
No.
word good?
No, I don't think I've ever said the word virgin to my mom. Like, what? What are you talking about? First of all, I'm not finna
Mm-mm.
say anything that snippy because she's gonna swing at me. Like my mom has a
Right?
she has reflexes like crazy, and my reflexes are really good too. So like she swings, I duck. And if you've learned nothing from me, Sasha, I'm all about the one line joke. So I've been swung at plenty of times just because I will let my mouth get me in trouble. But no, there's certain lines you don't cross, and when it starts like no, 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 I'm 15 years old. We're not talking about what other people are doing sexually and who they live with and all that stuff. I'm just gonna sit this one out. But she's trying it. Davy
Yeah,
is
because
clearly
my
trying it.
mom will be like, how do you know that word?
Right. What
What
does
are
that
you
mean?
doing?
Why do you? What does that matter to you? You're not finna be, so
Anything.
exactly. So I wouldn't even say a word. But that's Davy. Davy, Davy.
Yeah.
She knows no limits.
Because they all laugh. If I ever said that in front of family, oh my God. Grounded for life. There's no way. No
Hmm.
way. Oh my God. Anyway, and then they just like, they're constantly talking back and forth. Davy's, really trying to figure this out. And then they start talking about the harp, which I appreciate Nalini. She does say, listen, Davy's taking a break from the harp. And then Arvin, this annoying orange that he is constantly like, well, now all I can think about is Davy playing the harp.
Yeah. Get over there and play the harp because I want you to. Like, oh, you're stressed out and don't want to play the harp? I don't care. Go play the harp because I want you to. And as much as Davy does not want to play the harp, it's so funny because eventually she's going to have
Yes.
to protect Kamala. And so even in Davy's selfish moments, she's there for her cousins. And I like to see
Yeah.
that. Um, because Uncle Arvin is just pushing this left and right. And I think Melanie even has to pull Davy to the side and just be like, what's up? Like you clearly are stressed out. And I think Davy says, yeah, like it's just stress. And Melanie freaks out and starts pinching her legs, trying to see, like, oh wait, are you going to be paralyzed again? Like, are you
Mm-hmm.
okay? Melanie, her anxiety is on 10 right now. Everything
Yeah.
is such a big deal for her right now. She's just not able to see like and like read the situation correctly that Davy's just not into it.
Oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden, Melanie goes back up, y'all. And it's like a comedy of errors because literally she walks in and Kamala goes, no, it's not because you're bad at sex.
We were just talking about how Davy's virgin comment would have got us like in trouble. And Kamala says this as Melanie walks in the room. Like Kamala should not have a boyfriend, but she definitely should not be like talking about how the sex has been while her future husband is downstairs. And it's so funny because Melanie's reaction is, "What is your boyfriend doing here with your future husband
Yes.
downstairs?"
And Davy's like, oh, you're gonna get it now. First, also, sidebar, if anyone's bad at sex, maybe you don't be with them.
Well, was she saying he was bad at sex, or was she like trying to reassure him that like, no, 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 you're not bad at sex. Don't
No,
worry, this
it's
isn't
she's
what.
I wrote this word for word. It's not because you are bad at sex.
Right, but that could mean like you are not bad at sex. Like that's not the reason. Like, because he's
I
like, is it
I
because I'm
truly
bad at
hope.
sex? She's like, no, that's not why. Like, but does that mean he's not bad at sex, or is she just saying like, no, you're bad at sex, but despite that, I'm okay. That's not the reason. Like, what's she getting at?
Please, people, don't be with someone that does not satisfy you. Don't do that to yourself now. You
Yeah,
deserve better, people. Please. And men and women, people in general. Doesn't matter.
people exactly.
But anyway, and then, Davy's like, yes, thank God. She's gonna get it. I'm not the only bad person, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And then Nalini goes, yeah, of course I know. All these hushed phone calls sneaking around the roof. And the time he fell off the roof.
Yeah, Melanie doesn't miss much, so it is fascinating that Kamala thought she was getting away with this because we see how much of a like a handle she has on everything else, and when it comes to her house, like Davy is constantly lying to her mom because her mom is
Yeah.
always on to her. You know, it's not like Melanie is just walking in oblivious. She's keeping tabs. So yeah, there's no way Kamala is just getting away with this. I'm
Mhm.
shocked that we didn't realize it earlier that Melanie already knew about this. But unfortunately for Davy, Kamala's not getting in trouble at all. Melanie says, "I'm not mad." And Kamala, you shouldn't feel forced to do anything. Like you should be okay. Like I just here to point you in the right direction. And Davy is shocked. She's like, you've literally never said that to me before. Like you've never said this to me at all. And here I felt like this is the most relatable Davy content. One time I was in college and my mom and my aunt and my little cousins, they came to visit me for something. I think they were just passing through to Houston. And so they stopped at my school and they came to our dorm. And I had a roommate who he smoked a lot. Like he would just smoke weed in the room. And it didn't bother me at all because, like, I mean, that's his business, whatever. I'm far from a snitch. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Of course, it was against the dorm agreements, but
Yeah.
nobody was caring. Like nobody cared. My aunt, savvy as she is, she smelled it and so I'm thinking at some point I'm going to get in trouble. Like she's going to come to me and like, why is there smoke in your room? Of course, it's not my room. Like he has his own bedroom. It's very
Yeah.
clear that the smoke is coming from his room. I don't really care. I know I'm innocent, so I'm chilling. I hear my aunt pull my roommate to the side. Now I'm already mortified. Like, ma'am, that's a grown ass man. You don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's 19, but still grown man. You don't have any say so over here. So I'm like, my aunt is about to embarrass me, and I overhear her saying, like, it's fine if you smoke a little bit. Just don't have the whole house smelling like that. And I was like, I like burst into the room like, poof. When did it become fine if we're out here doing this stuff? Because you have never told me that. I've never gotten that speech because listen, I don't smoke, but I could. I just didn't. I thought that wasn't what we do. She's like, no, no, no. I'm just meant for him. Like, clearly, just keep it in your room. Make sure you spray. I was like, where did all this understanding come from all of a sudden? Parents
Not
are
for
so different when
us.
it's not you. Yeah. It caught me off guard. So when Davey said that, yes, yes, Davey, I get it. I feel
Mhm.
seen.
Yeah. Oh, 120%. Because I've seen my mom be very lax with my cousins. And I was like, but you just said I couldn't be on the phone past 9 and she can come home at 12?
Mm-hmm.
For what reason?
Yeah. Yeah. Why? What happened? What changed?
I hope we don't have children and they do not listen to this podcast.
They're gonna eat they're gonna eat us up. I
We're like,
remember when
excuse
you and
me?
Chappelle like like
And then I have to
we
call Isaiah and be like, it's been 10 years. Please,
take
please
it off.
take this down.
Take it down. Take it down. Take the archives down. I will say this
Oh
though, as
God.
like the family comedian that I can be sometimes, I do get away with saying things that people cannot say. Because when I say it, it's like, oh, it's just Chappelle. He's over there being goofy. So like I could say something to one of my aunts and totally get away with it. Whereas like their kids, oh, they could never. They could never. But because I'm like the funny one in quotation marks, they're like, or just at least the dumb one, they'll just let me get away with it. But no, there have been times where my cousins have said stuff and I've like sat in the corner thinking like, oh my God, like why are y'all getting treated like this? Like I said it too, and I'm like, oh fine. They're like, no, no, it's okay when you say it. We hold our kids to a higher standard than you.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I see both sides of that. But no, when Davey said like, you've never said that to me, yeah, that's my life there. That is definitely
Oh
my
my
life.
God. Yeah, I think I'm definitely low key the fave. So I like I said, I threw the beer and I did not get in
Mhm.
trouble. So yeah, my uncle will always be like, every time we talk, you're always smiling. But I drag. One time I told my mom and I were fighting, and I was like, you're the reason we're fighting. Imagine. And then he was like, "Oh, maybe I'll think about my words again." So it's just yeah. I definitely get away with like dragging a little because they'll be like, "Oh, she makes the most sense." Like
Yeah.
we understand what she means. Absolutely, I should not be.
Mhm.
And then, Davy says, "Excuse me? What?
Yeah.
You understand?
Where'd
You've
that
never
come
said
from?
that to me. I didn't know
Ever.
you were capable."
I didn't think understanding was one of the things you can do.
Oh my God, does not compute. Like that was Davy. And then
Mhm.
I love that Nalini goes, I've watched Big Bang Theory. I know they're hunks at Caltech.
Okay.
What show were you watching?
Yeah. What is happening here? But Nelanie's understanding has no bounds
Yeah.
here because when it comes to Kamala, she's like, okay, let's just come up with a plan. We will help
Yep.
Steve escape from the house. And Davy's like, what are you talking about? When did you become like this? Like, oh, I'm gonna help your boyfriend sneak out type of mom. What did that come from? But Davy's reluctant to go along with the plan, but she does. Nelanie's like, hey, we'll go downstairs. Davy, you distract your uncle and Prashant, and we will sneak Steve out the front door. This is a crazy plan, but they go along with it for whatever reason.
Yeah. It bizarre behavior, and of course they look to Davy, right, to save the day, because what Davy's good for is being sneaky lady.
Mhm.
So, she's like, "All right, people, let's first try to get them to drink some chai." They're like, "Hey, do you want some chai in your living room?" Of course, Uncle Arvind, being Uncle Arvind, is talking about some nonsense about dining table level. I don't know. Shut up, shut up. And then she says, "Okay, well, I'm gonna play the harp. Would you like that?" And I love
Nope.
Prashant because Prashant says, "Are you sure? You really don't have to." King. But this
Yeah.
Arvind, let's go.
Yep.
And they're about to start. But then we get another flashback of Mohan because Mohan says any idiot can play the guitar. You're far too special for the guitar, and you can really tell that there's a lot of familial moments, tied to those strings, like no pun
Mhm.
intended, but like they bring a lot. And then she's a little rusty, but she starts playing, and Nalini seems like mesmerized almost with her.
Davy's good.
And they do get Steve out, y'all. Tick, tick, they sneak out, and it's a wrap, thankfully.
Yeah. Until
Until
as
one
Steve
boy leaves.
as one boy leaves, another shows up. Steve's
Yes,
walking out the door, and
ma'am.
Paxton Hall Yoshida is walking up. And he has Davy's damn dress in his hand. This looks so bad.
I
Melanie is
will
standing there
say,
in shock.
did you notice that on the first try? I don't think I did. I mean, I rewatched it and I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, the dress is right there." But I
Yeah.
will say I did not notice.
No, this is only something observant as Melanie would notice. Cause she's like, Davy, why is this very attractive boy standing right here? And why does he have that dress? And I gasped. I was, oh no. Wait, why did he do that? I
He's so dumb. I'm sorry.
isn't he? Isn't he dumb? Like that's so stupid. Why do
Would
you have that
you're
in
a
your
boy,
hand?
like, if you were in this system, moment as a teenage boy, what is that something you would do?
No, first of all, brown
Right.
paper bag, put it in the like, hey, this is for you. I will throw it over the fence. I will
Yeah,
put it in your
no, give it
mailbox
to
for
me
you to
at
come get it.
school, please.
Yeah, I'm not coming. First off, I'm not coming to your house.
Yeah, that.
It's not coming to your house. I'm sorry, I'm just not. This just is not, in the middle of the day. Like, I think he thinks that Davy is not sneaking out. Like, I think he thinks
Yeah, just
that
like
Davy's
him.
mom, yeah, has the same. Like, he has the same family upbringing as his family is, because his family is very much aware that he's out here just living his life. And I
Mhm.
think he thinks that Davy had permission to go. They know that he's linked up with a boy, and she probably went home and told her mom, like, "Hey, this nice boy got me out of the pool, and he has my clothes," because obviously no one's going to notice that she's running around in teenage jogging outfit. Only to find out that no, that's the exact opposite of what's going on here, and everything Davy does is a lie. And that even though Paxton is completely honest, he looks like a big dummy by showing up and getting Davy in trouble like this because Melanie is pissed.
Because what is wrong with you, people, that you're literally showing up with her outfit and then you're expecting things to just be normal?
Mhm. Yeah,
Because she said, "Here's Kamala. Let me take Davy now."
yeah.
Oh
Like
God.
she says there's more boys coming in and out of her house than a GameStop at the mall. Like Melanie is overwhelmed and she is upset. And of course, Paxton finally is realizing, like, okay, maybe this isn't the best time. But by that time, Melanie has noticed the dress and she's just not having it. Davy's here unexplained. But all of this is
It's a
lies. Like
wrap.
this is just the worst. This is the worst part of the story, right? Like the Mohan stuff is sad, but this is like where we're reaching like peak conflict between Davy and Melanie.
Yes. Because how dumb also is Paxton? Because he's over here saying, you weren't responding to any of my texts. So, I
Yeah,
had to show up. No, stupid. Are you a teenager or no?
yeah.
Yeah, they just keep going. I love that Nalini just starts dragging him and says, this is great. You let the stupid boy, you're going to let him knock you up. And then maybe Princeton will let you raise a little baby. And Paxton's like, we just kissed. What?
Dumb. Now you're telling me that you're kissing. What is John McEnroe calls these unforced errors because Paxton admits to Davy drinking. He admits to Davy falling in the pool. He admits to Davy sneaking out. He admits to Davy kissing a boy. No, what do you want Melanie to do with all this information right now? Like we were talking about compassion, but for what
Yeah.
we know about Melanie, she should be acting like this. This is right up. This is right in the playbook. Like Davy knew that if her mom knew all of this stuff, this is how she would act, and this is exactly what this is. She tells
Ugh.
Paxton, maybe you have a busy day returning dresses to the other smart girls whose lives you're trying to ruin. Like she is on everybody's neck. She does not care.
That's a stranger's child. Like, you didn't need
You,
to do that.
yeah, that's too far. You don't talk.
Like,
First of all,
leave
you
him
don't talk about
alone.
nobody else's kids.
Yeah, like
Don't.
that's so mean. Again, I think she's under immense stress, but it's just disrespectful. My mom would drag me to hell in front of anyone. Like, she does not give two F's,
Mhm.
but like never someone else's child. Like, there's
Oh,
no way.
oh, my family is full of ratchets. Let somebody talk about one of our kids in our family. Like my sister, I've watched the way she deals with the teachers and stuff like at her kids' school.
Oh yeah.
And as long as they're everybody's on the level, they're fine. But if you get disrespectful to one of to my niece, my sister will be up there. And I mean, she goes up there and whatever stereotype you think of like a ghetto black woman, my sister gonna make sure you know what that means. Okay. Cause she's
Mhm.
gonna let you know you don't disrespect someone's child. It's very different when you're talking to an adult or you're talking to your own child. But you definitely don't do
Exactly.
that with somebody else's child. So she definitely crosses the line here. But like you said, she's under stress and she's just kind of swinging with her eyes closed. Anybody around is gonna catch a stray.
Yeah, it's like I said, very embarrassing for everyone involved. But she's just and Paxton is pissed. Like Paxton is like, I know she did not. So then
Mhm.
he just gives the dress and he leaves. Davey's also pissed because she's like, dude, are you serious? Like, what is wrong with you? Because Kamala's over here having sex and, had a whole guy broke into the house. And I'm over here just talking to someone. And this is the
Right.
issue. And bam, the door is open.
Yes. Turn around and there's Prashant and Uncle Arvind and
Yeah.
Kamala all just standing there hearing Davy yell out about Kamala having sex with a guy who broke into their house.
Rap. It's a wrap for
It's over.
everyone.
It's over.
Oh God. And I love that Uncle Arvin just goes, "Oh, I mean, I'm not surprised that someone broke into this house.
Yeah, he's still on the security system. Like
Sir, this is not the time."
he did have a point. Steve did just break into the house, though. I'm just saying.
And then, they finally go and talk Kamala and Prashant alone, which they should have this whole time.
Duh.
And I love it. She like explains who Steve is. And I love that Prashant was like, "Oh, the guy that was climbing the tree? Yeah, I saw him
Yep.
too."
Right.
No one. They're hiding it from nobody.
In the broad daylight. Prashant did not come over in the middle of the night. Steve is climbing this tree where anybody could drive by and see, apparently. So yeah, this was never a good plan. But
God.
he seems to understand, like, hey, this is a new situation for both of us. Kamala definitely tells him that, hey, I broke up with Steve. Don't worry. But I'm not ready to be engaged right now. And honestly, he's not mad about it. Prashant seems okay with this.
Mhm. Which I appreciate. I'm very surprised that an Indian man like from India would be like this chill
Mm.
with whatever happened. Like I don't know. I don't know that I maybe I should ask my husband like if before him, but like if this were the first time, what would you do?
Yeah. I feel
Messy.
like Prashant just has kind of gotten westernized a little bit when it comes to some of
Yeah.
his views because he did go to MIT, but him and Kamala definitely were like bonding over, the things in America that they really like.
Yeah.
They do both hate pranks. They hate April Fool's Day, which is way scarier than Halloween. But he says that he's happy that she's more interesting than just like a
Yes.
typical cookie cutter, like, oh, I'm here to be a copy of your mom, goody two shoes type of wife. And so I think that's really what gets his attention. It's not so much that he's disappointed that she's not ready to get engaged. It's more like he's interested that she has more nuance to her than just that. So I think that's really what
Yeah.
they bond over.
And that she is not trying to be his mom, which is
Yeah.
like great. Like the bar is so low for men. Good lord. Like
Yeah.
this is what gets us like great points for Prashant. That's embarrassing.
Listen, I will not complain about it right now. At this point in my life,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Kamala has to literally be more than perfect for her to get one guy. That's please. And then of course we get our bestie Uncle Arvind again. He's screaming about how everyone's out of control, and then Davy's like, "No, it's maybe a little under control." And then he says the bomb is dropped. When you go to India, this will all be fixed.
hmm And yeah, Davy, for some reason, Davy just doesn't understand what's being said right now.
No.
When I go to India for vacation, like, why do we always have to go to vacation? Ben's family gets the vacation in Aspen, the playground of the rich and famous, and we got to go to India. Like, what's that about? And she's just not dawning on her that no, no, no. Nalini and her uncle have been discussing moving to India permanently so that she could have some assistance in raising
God.
Davy and be around family. And Davy is just devastated.
It's awful. I mean, many threats have happened for me when I was acting out that you will
Oh
be
yeah.
sent back to India. And I remember when I was in India, the threats were you're gonna get sent to boarding school. So these are very real threats that we have all gotten. But I have never seen it acted out before. So I'm very like sad for Davy because she doesn't deserve this. Um but Nalini, tries to explain to her that things have just been so hard. Like she has no support system. And she feels like a stranger. Because California, I mean, even we've seen it right in the flashbacks where it really seems like it's Mohan's thing. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like what Mohan was into, and she's struggling to raise her. Um,
Yeah.
it's awful.
So Sasha, as someone who's been in this position before, do you feel like Melanie, like, what do you think is the way to go about this? Because this isn't necessarily a punishment for Davy. This is Melanie saying, I need help. And so, yeah, like for Davy's point of view, yeah, it's horrible that you have to go back to India, but like, no, he's not saying I'm sending you away to India. Like that's the punishment that you and I got like
Exactly.
threatened with. Like we are sending you away. My mom used to threaten me to go live with my dad all the time. Like you could go live with your dad. I was like, what? Excuse me? No.
Yeah, never
Like
that. I was like, oh,
she's crazy, but I know that crazy. Like I don't know what he's down for. But like it might be different here, and so I'm fine. I'm fine with what I know. But what Nalini's saying is we are moving to India. I can't do this anymore. So how do you like? What do you think about this? Just as a idea, or for Nalini and versus
yeah.
how Davy should be looking at it.
This was the opposite, right, for me and my mom, where I moved to America when I was in the ninth grade, and it was just her and I. And I remember like really struggling with it because I was like, oh, I'm, finally the prefect. I'm on the school senate. Like I'm, living my best life. I have my friends. And in India, you graduate high school in 10th grade. So I was like, bro, I'm 1 year away, like from graduating. What do you mean? And my grandparents, like everyone was there, but my mom was like, she was a single mom. She was right that we both obviously would have had a better life, but it's like, what do you mean we're gonna be, moving from our own house to like living in my aunt's house? In
hmm
I lived in the like not the attic, but like the game room with my mom, like on a blow up mattress, like for 2 years. While my mom worked at Subway. So it was awful. And my mom owned her own business in India. Like it wasn't like we were middle class, like living a good life. To coming to America where we knew no one. And when in India, every like down the street from all your family or whatever. And being Jewish was so much easier in India than here. So I understand the struggle where you're just like wanting a better life for your child. And it was really hard. I mean, I remember being like, you're abandoning me, like you're just taking me because you have to, like this is awful. But then finally my mom was like, you're just not gonna have to study as hard. Like, do you want to do and then, but it was still like a conversation. And to this day, my mom says, if I would have, like, I think finally said no, she would have not moved. But it was still a negotiation, even though I was 14, and like, because my mom was like, I need to give you some agency now that I'm going to uproot your whole life. But I
Yeah.
don't think that Davy has any agency over her life, which is what I think this whole thing comes down to, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it sounds like your mom was like trying to make you like a partner in that as well, right? Because y'all are
Yeah.
moving together and y'all didn't have anything else. I know anytime me and my mom made any big decisions because she was a single mom and it was just me and my little brother, and primarily me because I'm the oldest, like
Hmm.
I was like in those decisions, like don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
she's still gonna do what she wanted to do, but like she knew like if someone had to pick up my brother from school and it couldn't be her, it had to be me. If someone had to do extra work or something like that or pick up slack anywhere, I had to be invested in that too. So she
Yep.
couldn't do a thing that I wasn't completely bought in on without like selling it to me. Like don't get me wrong, I'd still have no choice but to do it. But you
Of
definitely want
course.
me as, a willing participant rather than feeling like a hostage. And so I guess so, but this is different. This feels like she wants to go back, but she doesn't really like. She's like, Davey, honestly, you're making life hard enough for me. I just really need to get around people and family. And she's probably homesick. She misses Mohan. She's ready to go. And for Davy, she's just looking at this as a punishment.
Yeah. And that's what's really hard, right? I think the two of them just have never had a conversation about
Mm,
anything to me. It seems like Mohan was kind of the go between. And if you're not gonna I'm a big believer in that, like, you have to give your children agency and that, like, you have to give in sometimes. My mom always, used to let me have some wins. Like, I was always, it was always a conversation of like, okay, let's talk through when you should date and like why I don't think, it's like the best time for you to date or vice versa, whatever. So it's really frustrating to see Nalini because, she's not like our parents' age. She's younger. She's a part of a
mhm.
different generation. So you'd think that she'd be a little better. But to me, it's very much the Indian stereotypical mom, of like, or parent in general, where it's just like, well, kids are seen, not heard. So it shouldn't matter, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, that's just not how life works, especially, in 2020 or 2019, whenever the show came out. So it's
Mhm.
just, it's really unfortunate because I think Davy's not a bad person. And as someone that's been in the position that has, moved the other way, but still same thing, leaving everything behind, it's not easy. And but I remember being like, yeah, but my mom deserves a good life too, and her life will be
Yeah.
easier in America because, maybe she could date and that's true, she could date, and it wasn't a taboo as like a single mom to date. So I remember like having those conversations with her. So if you don't do that, it's awful, I feel.
Yeah.
And that's why Davy, of course, reacts the way she does because we get another, flashback, and that like sets Davy off because she says, I know you don't care about me. I know I'm a burden to you. And it's not fair that I lost the only parent that cared about me. Oh, I
Yeah.
lost it. Like, I was like getting teary eyed because I was like, that's hard.
Yeah, it sucks because in the flashback, she does see Nalini venting to Mohan that like
Mm-hmm.
raising Davy is so hard for her and that they don't see the eye to eye and that this is Mohan's child. Like, this is no child of mine. And Davy hears that and hears what she sees her mom saying, like, I don't want anything to do with you. You are not my child. And you belong to Mohan. And then
Mm-hmm.
Mohan dies the same day. So Davy never has any resolve from that. They don't even have a chance to talk about that because now they have to grieve. And so, yeah, this is the moment where Davy is revealing to her mom that, oh no, I know that conversation happened. And when it gets tense like this, I remember how it felt that day when I realized that you didn't want me as a daughter from my perspective. Um, Melanie is just kind of shocked that this is even coming out because, she said that in a moment of anger and probably hasn't thought about it since. Um, but when Davy points this out, and, Davy even points out, like, Melanie, you love Kamala. Kamala comes here and she's your
Yeah.
ideal version of an Indian woman and of a daughter. And that's when it's all starting to sink into Melanie, like, oh, I've been neglecting Davy's feelings and also kind of making her feel like I don't want her. And so, yeah, this is so heavy. This is so heavy. It's
Yeah,
hard to watch.
it's awful, and you feel for all of them, right? Isn't just you feel for Nalini or Davy. It's like they're all just so hurt, and hurt people, right? Hurt people literally because it's so unfortunate because you want them to be happy, but they can't take a moment and
Yeah.
figure out themselves and figure out like what they should be doing. Oh,
And
it just it breaks my heart.
yeah, and sadly, the episode ends with them saying, with Davy saying, like, the line of the century, right? The thing that we hate to hear. She tells her mom, "I wish you were the one that died that night." And I'm
Yeah.
just, as someone who was raised by a single mom, like, I just can't even imagine, like how, like, this my mom is like my person, right? Like, this is my first friend, like, when I love my dad, and but that's not the same relationship I have with my mom.
No, not at
And so,
all.
yeah, like, that's, if I wanted to hurt my mom's feelings, that would break her, but that would also break me,
Mhm.
So I know how
Yeah.
Davy must be feeling in that to even say that, but man, it's got to be devastating for Melody. I do not like this at all.
Yeah, I can't imagine, right? Because she's just sitting here, talking about, and Nalini even says that's not fair. Like, this is not fair that you're saying this, but it's just, I think Davy's just, it's too far gone. And it's unfortunate that they haven't talked about it up until now,
Yeah.
through all of this. And it's just, I don't, oh, it's just, it's so painful. And it's like my mom and I, and maybe it's because like we're the same gender, but I mean we've had some blow up fights and like we've said some awful shit to each other. So I do like feel for Davy and Melanie because like I don't know, maybe it is that we're the same gender that we like cuts a little deeper, or
Mm.
we can cut a little deeper. I don't know, but like oh my god, my mom to this day can tell you every bad thing I said to her. It's
Oh
so
yeah.
and it's like, all right, dude, like I was going through puberty and my parents were getting divorced. Like, my God, give me a break.
Mm.
But yeah, and like that's where we're left with that. It was deep, but we gotta get through it, man.
Yes, and we're almost to the finale. That was episode 9. We have one more
Yes.
episode of this season, and then we're going right into episode 1, season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yes.
I'm excited. We should have a guest for this next episode. We've been
Yeah.
working on the scheduling, so I'm very excited about that too. But yeah, this episode was heavy. Hopefully, we can wrap this up on a high note and then start season 2 fresh and get into some more drama and shenanigans. Because season 2, if you haven't watched it yet,
Oh
is
my God.
wild, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I'm not a fan of season 2." And I was like, "Why? For what
Why?
reason? What
Excuse
reason?"
me?
It makes no
The
sense.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's some moments like this season has some cringy moments, and season 2 gonna take you there. But
Yes.
still, A1 television. I love every second of it. Some cringy
Exactly.
moments, but yeah, it's all good. And it's just the storytelling in this show is so good. And season 1 and season 2 do not disappoint. And so we're almost there.
100%. And with that, Chappelle, anything
Mhm.
else? If not, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at Chappelle's_show. There it is on the screen. And currently, the Big Brother season is wrapped up. Sasha, we are free from Big
Oh,
Brother. I mean, geez, there's so much to cover with Big Brother, but we had such a good time on Rob Has a Podcast. And so I'm happy that that's over with. But moving forward, of course, I am still podcasting on other networks and things. So I think I will be covering talking about Big Brother one last time on the Real Weird Sisters podcast, where they talk about Harry Potter and things. So
oh
we'll
yeah,
be
you're
doing
gonna be
some
sorting
sorting.
them. Oh,
I
so
believe
excited.
so. So that'll be fun. And then every week, Rob Sesternino on Rob Has a Podcast. He and I will be doing Nothing But Netflix, our new podcast show where we talk about Netflix shows, new shows, old shows, Netflix originals, whatever is trending, we want to talk about it. And so if you have a suggestion for Nothing But Netflix, please send that to me and check it out when we start that, our first episode is this week. We'll be talking about Seinfeld because it's coming to Netflix for the first time. So it's a 30-year-old show, but because of the recent drop, we will be covering it just so people can get the feel for like the first time, their first time watching Seinfeld, or for the people who really like the series and they want to go back and revisit it. Now that it's on Netflix, we'll be taking care of that. But I think that's all I have going on right now. The Walking Dead, of course, I covered that on post show recaps. Season 11 of The Walking Dead is underway. They're about to be up to the I won't say mid-season finale, but like semi-season finale because it's in 3 parts. But right when that ends, we'll be talking about The Walking Dead: The World Beyond, which premieres this week as well, season 2 for The Walking Dead: The World Beyond. And in 2 weeks, Fear the Walking Dead will be back. So 3 Walking Dead series all in one season. It's very fun. And so I will be on post-show recaps covering that. So follow me on Twitter for all those updates, and then subscribe to Post Show Recaps. And Rob has a podcast to check out those other things as well. A lot going on, Sasha, as you can tell.
Yeah, always booked and busy. And which is why, we apologize. It's taken us so long to come back together
We're working
for
on it.
it. Yeah, exactly. And we're back, baby. And you can find me on Twitter at funsize_04. You can also find me on Rob Has a Podcast where I cover Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I just had Isaiah on last week, and I think the reunion is gonna be 2 episodes. So with that, it'll be in the next few weeks. It'll be out with another, fire guest, obviously. So I'll be on here and there. You can find me, and let us know what else we should be covering here on Silent Podcast now that things are wrapping up. And if you are listening to us on Apple, make sure you leave us a review. If you're listening to us on Spotify, make sure you follow us. If you're listening to us on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and to let us know how you were loving this. I feel like we got deep today, Chappelle. So, leave
Mhm.
us some reviews because I know you love these stories today, y'all. And with that, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.